How's everybody today?
Hey, good morning. Pretty good.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. So, um, everybody, Brett, Ryan, that's Nicole,
Morning.
that you guys see on your screen as well. And Nicole is new home build or works for New Home Builder, and she was one of our presenters on Monday. And she was giving away such a fantastic gift. What was it 72-inch flat screen TV or something of that nature.
Damn.
Sorry to disappoint. Not
So
so
Brett and Ryan, what have you guys brought for us?
I got, half-witted responses and smiles.
There we go. We'll take them. We will take them. But Nicole, I didn't want to keep you on the whole time, so I don't know if you wanted to get started with us. You're welcome to stay, but if you had some other things that you wanted to do, you were really just coming on today to announce the winner, and so if you wanted to get started with us, you're more than welcome to.
Thank you so much. I have my list of names here. I'm just going to draw two, and I have Echo Dots, and I'm actually going to do two of these Echo Dots today just because my marketing firm didn't get my COVID package ready. So these are, basically your Alexa little smart home hub.
Sweet.
So we have two of those to give away. So all the names that I received, there's like 30 names. I'll pick two.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, we'll call it a day. Let you guys do your thing.
No worries.
Senka plus.
Senka, you know what? I'm gonna have to say I'm thinking that this thing is fixed because Senka wins. Senka, I think you win more than everybody.
Really? How funny.
So congratulations, Miss Senka.
Yes.
And number two?
Number two is one piece here. There we go. Sally Guo.
Who was the second one?
Sally Guo. Guo.
Sally Guap,
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Sally Miller.
Perfect.
AKA Sally Miller.
Sally Miller.
There we go. All right. So
Awesome.
congratulations.
Congratulations.
And
Now, if they would be able to pick them up at the office.
what I will do is I will get both of them coordinated with you. I'll have them both email you, and then you guys can coordinate. Not a problem at all. Or we'll send Daniel or something over to on the way into work or something. We'll get it figured out. We will get it resolved one way or another, whether it's Daniel or myself, or if they meet you directly, we can get it worked out. It'll probably be great for them to go over there directly, because then they can get an opportunity to take a look at the properties over there, I'm assuming, as well. So,
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for.
well, thank you again, Nicole.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
Have
Have
a
a
good
wonderful
meeting.
rest of the day.
Nice to meet you,
You
Nicole.
too. Nice to meet you. Bye-bye.
Namaste.
All right. So, Mr. Ryan, Mr. Brett, what's going on?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Oh.
Good morning, man.
Interesting times here.
I know, right? The days are going by quick.
Yeah.
Half the year's gone by.
Right?
You know, I was just about to remind everybody of that. So get on Amazon today, start your Christmas shopping, because it's almost here. As crazy as it sounds, before we know it, we've got 4th of July coming up, and then before we know it, we will be into the Halloween, Thanksgiving, and end of the year. So you're right, 50% of the year gone. Good news, 50% of the year still left. So
Yeah.
Good point. Halftime.
So
And it's a good time to be in this business. It's popping.
it is a very, very
Absolutely.
good time to be in this business. I was just talking with Chris up in escrow a few moments ago, and they are swamped up there. Things are going well. Shout out to those of you that are supporting Brickstone Escrow. We appreciate that, and thank you. And your escrows are in good hands, and they are very, very busy. And so I did not ask the question what she was going to be doing this weekend, because I unfortunately kind of already knew, just playing catch up and making sure that she's staying on top of the files. So, but escrow's busy. The office is busy. Travis, would you like to talk about kind of what's going on in the office and things of that nature?
Absolutely. I don't know about the office, maybe the market in general, but let's see if I can back that down to the office. People are working. The office is open. You're welcome to take advantage of the services, marketing, is here and working, so you can email them and get your marketing materials going. And yeah, I mean, it's not crazy busy. I think people are being cautious, but it's definitely open and things are happening. And I did want to say something larger.
When you say it's not crazy busy, I think you're referring to just kind of like the activities within the office as far as like number of people and things like that.
Thank you for the clarification. That was just about the office.
Transaction.
We're talking about the agents. It's a different thing.
Yeah.
The foot traffic.
Yeah, Ryan and Brett really opened, you guys just played right into a little bit what I wanted to talk to briefly here, which Ryan's comment was, wait, what did you say? Something like, it's crazy times out there. And that could be truer, right? One day we're all going to go look back and go, my God, do you remember 2020? And it's going to be an interesting recollection for all of us. And then Brett said, yeah, real estate's on fire. And, you know, you wouldn't think that those two comments could exist in the same conversation, but that's exactly what's going on. And so I just wanted to touch on that real quickly, because Nestor and I have been talking a little bit and we've come to a consensus, and I've heard this from other brokers and people, which is many agents are as busy as they've ever been. They're having some are having a hard time managing all the business that they have going on. And then we have another end of that where we have some agents that just aren't doing business, who typically are doing business. And so we wanted to speak to that real quick. It seems like those that didn't shutter themselves up for the last number of months, didn't stop their marketing activities, even though it was like, wow, I don't have the money coming in, or I don't know what the future holds, but they know, maybe they've lived through it, or they've listened well, that you've got to be constant and consistent no matter the market. So they'll always come back, and you want to be prepared for that. And I think that's what our busy agents are. They never let off the gas. They found ways to be in front of people, being active as much as they could. I guarantee you it wasn't what they used to be prior to March 14th or so, but they definitely kept engaged. And then a lot of people didn't. And don't get me wrong, everyone needed to be cautious. And I don't fault anyone for that. I was locked up for a long time. I still take great precautions. And that's not the point. The point is, what are you doing behind the scenes? What do you do? What are you doing in your current circumstances? What can you be doing in your current circumstances, as opposed to whether it be a woe be me, or whether it be just having trouble getting a grip on something and making headway and not reaching out to look for some help. But just wanted to speak to this. So those of you that are terribly busy, you know, it is busy out there. Yeah, it is a little bit of a struggle. For those of you that aren't doing business, it's out there. You just got to go get it. You got to find the right way. You got to find the tools. You've got to take the actions that are necessary for that to happen. Again, don't take this as, hey, forget what's going on and just go out and do it. Believe me, I wear my mask. I believe heavily in a mask around other people. And other protective things, distance, whatever you can do. Nestor, were you going to hit on a few things? Because I had one, but I don't want to segue into it if it's something that we're going to talk about later.
I wasn't going to, I talked to you earlier that I was going to hit on a couple of things, but, life happened as well, with regard to real estate and phone calls and things like that. So I didn't pull up, I was going to pull up some things that what I think people should be doing or could be doing in this time. And, some of the things that we shouldn't be doing still. Open houses. Open houses are still not allowed. We got an update from the state yesterday. Everybody should have got an email. We got an update from the MLS, and the first 3 lines of it were open houses are still not allowed. Now, that being said, I understand it because I get phone calls and text messages every weekend. Hey, are open houses allowed? Because I'm driving by and I'm seeing an open house. So they are not following the rules, and it's one of those things that I constantly look at our business, and we have to remember that we're a reflection of we're not just a reflection of ourselves, we're a reflection of our company, we're a reflection of the industry as a whole. And it's an unfortunate thing that people are just not following those rules. So open houses are not allowed. Are there other ways? to conduct your business? Absolutely. You know, we shared a video, it's been probably a month and a half ago, of a virtual open house, which we shared the stats with and had some great success with those. So there are ways in order to get in front of your clients, to get in front of your community and do those things on a regular basis that are not the old traditional and are becoming the new traditional. Are you making your phone calls? Are you on your Facebook lives? You know, this has become almost automatic for us. It's actually has become automatic for us, Travis. And I'd venture to go back to our very first one. When we did this, we were sitting out in the front of the, you know, at the front desk there, 6 feet apart, with a telephone staring at us and no microphones or anything, and everybody saying, hey, we can't hear you, we can't this, we can't that, and all of those things. And to now where it's a simple click of the button because we've made that shift. And so yes, things can be done. So I would encourage you to, we said it last year, we said it a couple of years ago, video, and here we are where we really don't have a choice if we want to be in front of people. Video. And I'm reminded, I don't know if you remember this conversation, Travis, back at R4, not this last year, but the year before. And Gary Vaynerchuk went on stage, and not only did he say video, but the other thing he said was, those of us in this industry, so many of us weren't in the industry in 2006, 7, and 8 when we had that big crash in the market. And for everybody who came into the industry after that, nobody understood what it really meant to get punched in the face by this business, and that it would happen. It was gonna happen. Didn't know when or didn't know how, but it was gonna happen. And it's weird. I asked this question: was this the punch in the face, or was this just a, you know, was this just a little jab? That, because I say that because working with a lot of the agents that stayed busy, you know, I felt like there was a lot of pivoting going on, and the business stayed, and there really, we made a lot of adjustments with how we're showing properties and things of that nature and dealing with clients. But from a business perspective, as far as business volume, I didn't feel the effect minus 30 days in this last 6 months. It didn't feel, it did feel like a punch square in the face to me. So I don't, I'd be interested to hear your guys' thoughts on that, but it was definitely a hiccup. And some people, put their hands up and blocked it and did just fine. And some people got knocked out and will continue to stay down. So that being said, take advantage of that, because, we want less people in this industry. We want this to be a better business. And that happens by people that take this seriously and treat this like a business, like we do, moving forward and becoming the cream of the crop right now.
Yeah.
That's my 2 cents.
All right. Well, I did want to share one thing. So I'm going to share a little tool and something that everybody can be doing. And I'm only going to mention it because I hear it time and time again. And so I'm going to have to mention it again. But I can't wait to hear from Brett and from Ryan and what they have to share, because it's so important to know what's going on in this business. We're working with people that rely upon us to bring them up to date and good information. And Ryan and Brett have that. Their industry is changing as fast as ours. And so it's important that we get information so we know where we stand with our clients. I'll go back, to 2008. I remember people just didn't know. Buyers thought, I could never buy a house, because in 2008, the mortgage market was so wrecked. I mean, you had to have an act of God to get a loan. But come 2011, buyers still thought that. But the reality was, no, man, banks were back in action and people were getting loans. And all you had to do was go talk to people, and you're going to find people that not only wanted to, but could afford to buy a home, but didn't think they could. And so that's why we need this information, so we can help people understand where we're at. Okay, quickly, so we can get to our guests. I wanted to bring up one more time the RE/MAX technology, first.io. First.io. Remax bought this technology, I don't know, about 6, 8, 10 months ago. They literally bought the company. It is now exclusive to Remax. If you don't work for Remax, you don't get to use this technology. And I just keep hearing again and again from brokers and agents who've given it a try. They're like, this is amazing. It's the conversion that they get. I was just talking to a broker this morning, and he said, I threw in all these leads. I was just kind of testing it. He said, I've had 23 opportunities, 13 of which I've converted on, and 10 that went another way. And this was all within like the last 6 months, and it's all out of his own sphere of influence. So First.io is a company, a technology that you upload all of your prospects and contacts to. They take it and they sift it, and they use over 700 data points in an algorithm to figure out who's most likely to act. So that you have an opportunity to be in contact with them at the right moment to convert that business. What I've heard is they have an 80% success rate. So out of every 10 people, they say, hey, these people are going to act in a given period of time. 8 of them do that. That's a huge number. So I really encourage you guys, this is the perfect market to do this in, as we've lost a lot of our traditional means of marketing and prospecting, open houses, door knocking, geographical farming, all these areas are suffering. And this is a great opportunity. Your sphere is one of the most important things. So I implore you to go into the Max Center and go into First.io and sign up. They're giving you 90 days free. This was a $100 a month program when they were an independent business. Remax will give you 90 days to look at it and decide whether you like it or not. And then after that, it's like $39.95 a month or something, I think like that, something like that. Let's multiply that out for the year. It's about $480. What do you spend $480 on that you don't even think about, right?
Pizza annually.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's like one car payment. That's like one car payment, or for some of us, that's one half of one car payment, So let's get a little reality. Yeah, there's a little bit of cost to it, but you got 90 days to figure it out. I highly recommend you do it. Remax has invested a lot of money, and they wouldn't have done this unless they thought it was a great product. And everyone I talked to, actually inside and outside of Remax, who have ever used it, really say this is a fantastic product. So don't ignore it. Know it's there and take advantage of it. That's all I got.
So Travis, you have mentioned this, and I'm sorry guys, real quick. So Travis, you mentioned this several times. We've talked about this many times, and you've encouraged the agents to go. So the last time you brought this up, I actually just said, all right, I'm going to do this. So I went online and I hooked it up and I put it on my app, and it said, do you want to take the people out of your phone and put them in the thing? And I gave it a yes, and I let it do its thing. And then it sent me this email and it said, this is a list of people and that you should be contacting. Well, I didn't pay any attention to it. I just took the list and I said, okay, haven't called anybody, didn't do anything. I was just curious. Last week, Michelle was talking to me, and I haven't even shared this story with her. She was talking to me and she says, oh, hey, by the way, such and such just called us and they are thinking about doing something. So I go back to my phone and I look, there they are. So I don't know anything about the numbers as far as percentages and anything like that. I can't speak to that from personal experience, but I can speak personally can say that I experienced that. It got at least one right. So,
and one of the things that I was a little worried about is I thought, I don't have any I don't have any contacts. Like, I don't have anybody to put in this. He said, do you want your phone? I said, most of mine are like realtors, that I've had over the years from working with and recruiting and whatnot. I thought that's going to be a mess in this program. So I never did it. The broker I talked to today, he had 3,500 leads from 10 years in the business, lots of agents, lots of people he didn't even know. And he just gave them the list. First, we'll go through, they'll find out who are realtors, and they automatically pull them out. And they do all this other sorting for you, and you get back a condensed list.
Oh, nice.
You can then go through in more detail and clean up. So don't be afraid of it. They give you a lot of help to go in and make this work well.
So he's right. download the app and try it. It's free for 3 months. I don't know how long Remax is going to leave that. I don't know if that's indefinite, that the first 3 months.
All I know is I checked in today and asked that question, and they said it's still currently available.
Perfect. All right, gentlemen.
$39 a month. What a deal.
It is. And
Oh my God. You know,
if it
for us,
creates one deal,
if it creates one deal, it's paid for itself for the whole lifetime of your career.
That's
pretty
true.
much. Pretty
Yeah,
much.
pretty much, right?
So Brett, what's going on in the lending world?
Oh my goodness, I'm sure Ryan's got a lot to say too. You know, we've both been kind of biting at the bit to let you guys know that there's lots of things moving and shaking out there, including the non-QM stuff is starting to filter its way back into the marketplace. So, you know, those bank statement loans and so forth are starting to come back.
Wow.
We'll have more information on that this month as some of these companies start opening up again. Angel Oak is open back up. Citadel is opening up again next week, and so there's a number of those you know, more exotic types of programs and products coming back in the market. But you know, even with that, I know, you know, Ryan, you and I have just been it's been like 14-hour days. You know, it's just been insane. The refi volume is one thing, but the amazing thing is the purchase volume is still really strong. It's it's super amazing to see that action, and it has a lot to do with just what the interest rates have done and making it more affordable, and people getting less. You know, I got to say that home buyers are getting less picky necessarily about what it is that they're buying. They're just thankful that there's something available, and they're going out and just buying what they can.
Yeah, I think it's I think there's that demand that was kind of, you know, held back because of COVID, and I think people are like saying to themselves, if we're going to be in the house more often, might as well have the bigger house, might as well buy a house. So I think there's, you know, very little inventory, so that's heightened with you know, the lower interest rates, and it's just, you know, creating a frenzy out there. But the one thing the one change I really wanted to talk about that's concerning, it's not, it's a, you know, thing to acknowledge, is this: for self-employed individuals, we are, for our jumbo loans, we are now requiring the reserve requirements, meaning the money in the bank after you place your down payment has now doubled. So traditionally, for a loan below $1 million, I would need 6 months of payment in the bank. Payment meaning the principal, the interest, the taxes, and the insurance, and the HOA. It's called, you know, a housing expense. So if there's a $6,000 housing expense, if the house payment for your client with everything in principal, interest, taxes, insurance, and if there is an HOA is $6,000, we would traditionally say we want to see $36,000 in the bank after you put your down payment. Well, that is doubled. So for loans below $1 million, they want 12 months. And for loans above $1 million, you want 24 months of payment in the bank. So that sounds concerning, but what is even more concerning is this: the utilization of business funds for down payment and reserves cannot be used for business funds anymore. So if you have someone that owns, you know, a restaurant or, you know, whatever type of business, it has to be designated as personal reserves, money sitting in their personal account. It can't be sitting in the business. You know, utilizing business funds for down payment in the past has not been that big of a deal. You show maybe a CPA letter stating that it, you know, withdrawing this amount of money does not affect the business's ability to operate. It's not borrowing against future earnings, and it's of no consequence. And then you run a cash flow analysis, and there's no problem. Now, because of the issues with, you know, businesses not being able to operate due to COVID, using business funds is next to impossible. So when you are working with a buyer, find out soon enough, where is the down payment coming from? Are they self-employed? Ask the questions, because I have 2 purchases right now that, you know, it's becoming a bit of footwork to get them done. I'm having to prove that the money that is being taken out of the business was funds that he'd already paid tax on, and that he just hasn't taken it out of the business. Another person was a Schedule C individual. I can't use any of the business, so they got to get a gift from the cousin for $150,000. So it's it can cause snags in your process, in your loan process, in your escrow. So ask the questions. Oh, what do you guys do for work? Oh, you're self-employed. Okay, great. Where's the down payment coming from? Make sure it's not sitting in a business account. And if it is currently today, wire it to your personal, call them in 60 days once it's seasoned, because it's creating snags. You need more money in the bank, and you need it to be personal. So that's the two biggest changes I've seen recently that have affected some escrows. We're getting through them, but it's created a snag. And these are newer guidelines, and it's like that at every bank for the jumbo stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know how you guys are handling that.
Yeah, I know of a few of the institutions out there not even taking self-employed borrowers. So there's some places that just aren't taking self-employed borrowers at all. And it's just because of the changes that are happening with self-employed borrowers, like Ryan had mentioned. Certainly they're looking harder as underwriting and as assessing the risk of a self-employed person. It's getting much harder, as Ryan alluded to, just with the reserves and the source of money and so forth, but also with validating income. That's been a tough thing too with self-employed borrowers. So Fannie and Freddie had just both come out with guidance on that, which has made it a little bit harder for self-employed borrowers to pass through with the income, meaning that they have to prove that they're currently earning at the level that they've validated as far as income. So if you can imagine maybe a restaurant or a store owner or something that has been maybe closed down for a couple months due to COVID and doesn't have the cash flow coming in as a result of the business or the reduction in business. Now you're trying to prove that you're earning whatever it is that you said that you were earning, or whatever that you were able to prove from last year. It doesn't hold water now because the current environment is pointing that ship down. So it's what they call declining income, and with declining income with self-employed borrowers, you're in a road of trouble with that. And so that's been, as Ryan alluded to, and it's a great point, Ryan, to bring that up. It's been tougher a lot more recently on self-employed people.
And the way we're validating if a business is actually viable and operating at the level is we're requesting business bank statements 10 days prior to funding. Mm-hmm. And it is entirely subjective of, is this business operating at the level? Because like maybe they were bringing in 20,000 a month and now it's 16, or is it 12? Is that enough to say that they're at the same levels? It's kind of like underwriter's discretion. So it can get a little dicey. I haven't, my company is in the business of doing business, at other institutions. My prior employer, almost felt like you're guilty till proven innocent. My company works, to work with the client, and just, as a cultural, standpoint, we are in the business to do business, but it just can get a little dicey. So just be very careful when working with self-employed individuals. And it's just created some hurdles for sure.
So before we move on, I just want to remind everybody out there who's watching, if there are any questions or anything for either one of these guys, if you just drop it into the chat, I will make sure that they get addressed and answered. So just wanted to make sure everybody's aware of that we're here for Q&A as well. So if there are any questions, just let us know. I had a question just off in lending topic, but off topic of what we're talking about, self-employed. Have you guys felt like we've seen a leveling off as far as the unemployment stuff goes, where we're opening up escrows and the people having that fear of, I'm going to get laid off and things like that because of our COVID-19 and the economy? Has that kind of leveled off, or are we still seeing that type of activity still creeping into the situations?
You want to start, Brent?
Sure. Well, I can tell you that the unemployment numbers are coming down, which is a good sign, right? It means that people are going back to work, whether it be going back to work in the same capacity that they had prior to COVID is probably something that they really don't cover. But as far as employment and employability, those unemployment numbers are coming down, which is a good sign. That's a sign that people are going back to work. Our challenge, both Ryan and I, is okay, what's happened to their income in coming back to work? Has it been cut? Have their hours been cut, and so forth? And we do our best to assess what their current situation is in order to move forward. But to answer your question with respect to, do we have any concerns? And if I'm reading your question right, do we have any concerns about potential new types of furlough and things like that? I think that damage has been, for all intents and purposes, pretty well vetted out. Ryan, what do you say?
I mean, not to minimize, folks that have been impacted from, furlough and layoffs due to COVID, but I think the majority of the individuals are generally in the service sector, service-based, economy. And I think that the majority of folks buying in Irvine would be considered essential employees. I mean, you have to have a pretty high net, high income producing household to be able to afford some of these houses in our market specifically. So I would assume that, with a limited inventory in Irvine, with the fact that the majority of folks are essential, you have the demand being kind of withheld and kind of a slingshot effect given through, or from March through now, where people are actually feeling a little more safe to venture out. I don't think that you're going to see unemployment numbers impact real estate, especially in the local markets, because again, I think that you're dealing with a higher earning household in Irvine and the surrounding area. So I don't think unemployment at this point is a concern. Yeah.
With regard to the refi market, has that been still bogging? Is that bogging the system down? Is that creating any delays just in general with home purchases and stuff like that? Are we still okay with our 30 days, meeting our guidelines and all of that stuff, or our timeframes?
Yeah, 30 days is still fine. There's no issues with that. But don't forget that it's not just the lenders that are suffering with the increase in volume. You've got title companies, escrow companies, appraisers. You've got everybody up and down the food chain that is also impacted by the same volume of business coming through.
Very valid point.
I think that by far and large that the lenders that are out there doing business, like Ryan and myself and everybody else that you guys do business with, they recognize the value of the purchase business and the purchase business transaction and relationship. And as an enterprise, everybody is out there, including CMG and US Bank and so forth, to take those purchase transactions and to expedite them ahead of any type of refinance business that's going out there. So we're treating that stuff like the royal red carpet being rolled out.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up these numbers here. My divisional sales executive who runs California and Washington and kind of the West Coast, he said, in 2015, we closed 4.2 billion the entire year for that nation, I should say, for US Bank. And we closed $2 billion in June. So the company itself is having record months and things like this. And, we are a bank, we're a smaller bank. We are more focused on, purchase, and there's much more priority placed on the purchase transaction. But my kind of rule of thumb in the past was, if we submit a loan on Monday, I will have your loan approved and appraised by next Monday. That's not really true, at this point. That's a week approval. And for a bank, that's very quick. Other smaller companies can move in a day or two, but we're not there. And I'd say that 30-day escrow is no issue at this point, but I'm definitely seeing loan approvals take 14 days where I would normally be, hey, I'll get you approved in a week, but I'm not in a place yet where I'm not meeting timelines. There's a lot of pressure to perform, and the bank has massively prioritized, again, the purchase over the refinance. But my banks, what they've done is they've actually, people come to me for a conventional refi and our rates just aren't smoking, and I'm telling people, call a smaller company for a conventional refi, because we've had to try to slow down the velocity of loan applications somewhere. So we've raised margin, which means raised rate on conventional refinance, not on purchase, to try to slow things down. And I think that's, a good move from the bank to try to keep the service level up. Hold on one second. So I had an incoming call.
What's going on with refis in regards to investment properties and then cash out refis for primary or investment, either or?
As far as any changes or
Yeah,
just the
as far as-
volume or what?
As far as ability to do those, have the guidelines changed at all? They tightened up, loosened up?
No, those guidelines haven't changed at all. They're still the way that they have been. There's no changes at all. Maybe except in the jumbo space, you might have some limitations on maybe on the amount of cash out that you might pull out of a transaction. But the regular conforming, say 465 and below, there's been no changes with any of that stuff, and that stuff is going really strong. And with the interest rates being so low, what a time to take money out to do debt consolidation or investment. You know, if you can take money out below 3% and reinvest it someplace else with a purchase. You know, you don't have to buy a $1 million property as an investment. You can go buy something else that's a little bit less, and you can turn your money at under 3% as a cost and get a much greater rate of return in the long run. And we all know that the average home appreciation here in Southern California, it's been like 5.6 for I don't know 60 years as a long-term investment plan. And if you have an appreciation rate even over 4%, you're beating the rate or the cost at say 3%. So it's an immensely important time for people to understand that real estate is a fabulous investment.
So there has been changes to guidelines pertaining to cash out in the jumbo category. We used to do a cash out jumbo refinance with as low as a 680 credit score. We're now at a 720. Wells Fargo is no longer doing jumbo cash outs at all. Bank of America is basically out of business for right now, like entirely. And I know that because I was there for 9.5 years and have about 10 friends that still there. They're not doing, they're at 30% if you borrow above $1 million, 30% down. They're not, I mean, and when it comes to cash out, I don't even know if they're doing cash out. So cash out guidelines have, contracted, at every institution. We are no longer doing a jumbo over $1 million unless you have a 720. We will do we'll do a 700. Actually, we'll go down to 680. We'll go down to 680 under $1 million. But the financing in the jumbo categories tightened up significantly. And I have a lot of friends that are lenders, so I'm getting a lot of their stuff that they can't do. So I think that we're just one of the only small portfolio lenders that's still in the game, being more aggressive than some of the big banks. So jumbo has definitely changed. The amount of cash out hasn't really been limited. I did an exception. I think our guidelines guideline is $300,000 max cash out for a jumbo loan, and I did like $500,000 or $600,000 back in, I think April or May we closed that. So we can still get exceptions to guidelines, but I think when it comes to jumbos, cash out, higher FICO requirements, we still do a 10% down loan up to $1.25 million, which I don't know anyone that's doing that. So that's been a real nice thing. It's enabled people to get into houses without the 20% down. It's enabled people to get into houses that are fixer-uppers. Maybe it's a $1.2 million house. You could put 120 down instead of 240, and then you can do a full renovation. Well, not a full, I should say. It's very expensive these days, but still renovate with that extra 120,000. So that's still in place for sure.
One thing that I can bring up to you guys is a solution for some of the problems that your agents might have with a jumbo space and getting and obtaining financing with a jumbo product. We do have the all-in-one loan, which is that HELOC in first position. Okay, it's not your traditional amortized forward, mortgage type of product, but we are still doing that AIO loan. 20% down to 150, and then 30% down up to 3 million as far as a loan amount goes. There's no restrictions on using that for cash out. It's very simple and easy to do. It's a little bit of a different shift. Okay, so it's a HELOC that's in first position rather than your 3.25 30-year fix. So it's a different mindset. But it also comes with some benefits in the form of the type of a loan program and product it is. So that might be a solution for you guys with transactions, even if you consider it as a Band-Aid to get you to the point where you can refinance out of the AIO loan into a traditional loan once credit score requirements come back down, or cash to close requirements come back, or reserves, like Ryan was talking about with self-employed people. So that AIO loan program has been a godsend to us.
Questions, anybody? We got quiet.
Lots of stuff we've been talking about. Any other stuff that we can chat about, because there's so much.
First-time buyer programs, what are those looking like right now?
Yeah, like your
nothing.
mortgage credit certificate, Brett, is that still available?
Yeah, in fact, tomorrow we're going to get an increase on the sales price limit and income limits for the MCC program here in Orange County. Now, they haven't told me what that change is going to be, but I'll send it to you guys, and you can roll it out to everybody there at your office with respect to how that's going to change. But that mortgage credit certificate has been strong this year. And if you remember the math of us in our presentation, when you can take a 3.5% interest rate on a 30-year fixed and make it effectively under 2.5% because of the interest that's credited back from the federal government, wow. And it's been an eye-opener. It's been very helpful in getting people to the plate and getting them into escrow. The other first-time home buyer programs, they're out there. They still exist. Some have cut back on their FHA requirements, requiring higher FICO scores for some of the programs, but they still exist there. They're still running full steam. Susan Claren has got a great training that she does on that, and she does a blogcast every morning at 8 a.m. every Monday morning. It's a Facebook Live that she does, or maybe it's a Zoom call, but you can reach out to Susan Claren, and she does it at 8 a.m. on Monday mornings every week. And if you're interested in joining, she'll definitely go through the current status of Cal HAFA and Cal Platinum and the other first-time buyer programs.
I saw we talked about earlier, ideas and things that we can be doing to generate business right now. A Facebook post or an Instagram post, a social media post right now, just reminding people about first-time buyer programs that exist out there and that are still there and still available. Hey, find out more information or get details, and whether you ask them to DM you or actually go to the full length of trying to create a landing page or something like that with more information. But you'd be amazed how many people are looking at these things and don't realize that they can buy right now and that things are happening. So
I'm just surprised that everybody still thinks they have to have 20% down.
Right?
Yeah, and it's amazing to think that that when you're talking to a first-time buyer, they never thought that they could come buy a property, and you talk to them, they've got 10% to put down. They've just been trying to save to get to that 20% down. So I think there's a little bit of miseducation going on out there, something that as agents, you guys can reach out and to your sphere of influence, make sure that they understand and know that you can purchase with little or no money down. Mm-hmm. And then the drive, just from what's happened with COVID, the drive of pushing people out of densely occupied residences, and you're talking about apartment communities and maybe densely populated cities and so forth. You think about some of the 4- and 5-story high-rise or actually I guess you would call them low-rise apartment buildings here from IAC, Irvine apartment communities, right? You could farm in one of those apartment communities, and you'll get a lot of these young millennials. And it's a variety of different people that are living in these places, that want to get out because they're densely populated. You know, they're in lockdown because of COVID. You know, they can't walk out of their front door because they're face to face with their neighbor next door, and they don't feel like they have the space. They want to get out into their own property and have some space. So that's been driving a lot of the request for a pre-qualification and pre-approval that Susan and I have been seeing.
Nice. So before I ask Ryan this question, so giveaway this week in the chat. I just want you to put Ryan and Brett, or Brett and Ryan. You can type in both names or write in both names. And our giveaway this week, I'm going to do a $25 gift certificate to the marketing department here in the office. You guys can use it towards anything that you want with regard to the marketing department and things of that nature. So, and we just got a question that came in. How can you qualify? So the question is, how can you qualify for first-time home buyer credit? Can I get Susan's info? So yeah, Janice, what we'll do is I'll connect with you, or I'll have you and Brett connect after we get done here, and you guys can swap information with regard to that. So she was just wanting to get some more information on getting somebody qualified.
Have Janice reach out to Susan.
Okay.
Susan's business model for 15 years has centered on first-time buyers and first-time buyer programs, and so she's by far way more versed in that than I am. I feel pretty good, and certainly in conversing with you guys about that. But Susan is awesome.
Nice. So Ryan, question to you: any special financing programs going on right now that you wanted to talk about? Doctors programs, anything of that nature that you guys have got going on? Those special needs products.
Yeah, I think again, it's just reaching back out to that 10% down, not just for doctors, but for anyone. 10% down all the way up to $1.25 million price point. So that would put you just about 1.4 million with only 10% down, 1.4 million purchase price. That is the real standout. No one has it. I have people that, are just sending me people I've never even heard of before. Hey, I'm a friend of a friend. I'm a loan officer. Here's this loan, because we're the only one doing it. So that's the real standout there. We still have interest only products, which is, I think it's a great loan. Interest only still at our institution. A little bit higher reserve requirements, a little bit more down. Most banks have cut back debt to income ratios. So we'll actually do 50% debt ratio on a jumbo if you put 30% down, which is incredible in my opinion. Hasn't been touched. We'll do a 45% debt ratio on anything, 10% down, actually 20% debt in that case, where most banks are hardlined at the 43 mark or even lower for certain types of programs. So our debt ratio is a little more lenient. The down payment is significantly lower. So, we're making deals where there is no deal. If you find the right house, but it's a little bit out of price point when it comes to down payment, that's going to be the deal maker right there, for sure.
Nice. So, and I'm going to ask this question because, again, in the beginning of this, Travis and I were talking about some things we can do. So I'll ask Brett this question. I'll ask Ryan this question. So, I talked to, and you guys have mentioned part of this is educating the consumer about what's going on. If any of the agents were to contact you guys and said, hey, can I get on a Zoom meeting and do a Facebook Live to my contacts or create something like that, would either one of you guys be opposed to having that conversation to talk about lending and things like that, kind of similar to what we're doing here?
No, not at all. We're both totally available. I can obviously speak for Ryan too, because we're here to service you guys, and any opportunity we can to do that. I know that some of the agents have been doing like a Zoom video library or a YouTube video library, where they'll record some conversations and then just post the stuff out there as a library, and that's easy to do, easy for us to do too. Just for me, just give me a call anytime, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, that's my job. So I don't have any hobbies. This is it. So anything you guys need.
Yeah, 14 hours a day, right?
So trying to throw those ideas out to everybody of that there are lots of things that we can be doing in this current environment. That takes kind of the pressure off of those that are a little bit screen shy and things of that nature. So we're coming up on the hour. Daniel, hopefully you're still online. Daniel, if you could send me over the winner. We did get a lot of entries here this week, so I
good.
like that. But Daniel, if you could send me that over so I can announce that. And, you know, I want to say thank you to Brett. Thank you to Ryan.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Closing, anything in closing that you guys like to close with as far as any final words?
And it's a great time to be in this business, you guys. It is a really great time to be in this business.
Yeah,
Mr.
I think
Ryan?
that you have, if you have a listing, you're really in the gold here, because there's not a lot of listings. And yeah, I think that you have people unafraid of buying again, and you have great rates. So get excited about it. The agents that I've seen do well are not just doing well, they're having their best year ever, because they said, well, there's nothing else to do. I'm going to work, and I'm going to use this opportunity when everyone's saying, you know, I'm going to sit down and use this as an excuse not to work. People are having their absolutely best years ever because they're working harder than ever, and there's actually more opportunity because people are sitting on the sidelines because they've taken themselves out of the market. So stay in the market, get your head in the market, in the game, and let's kill it the rest of this year.
Great time to get market share.
It is a great time to get market share. And Ryan, I like what you said, that they're not just killing it because they stayed busy or things of that nature. You use the word that they're working hard and actually, you know, putting in the effort right now. Just you guys are mentioning 14-hour days and having to do what we have to do. And so it's just not falling in people's laps. There's a lot of work that's been going on behind the scenes. So, you know, kudos, you know, great recognizing that. So Travis, any closing words?
Go get them.
All right.
Just keep attuned to what's going on in the market. Lean on your professionals like Ryan and Brett in whatever service provider that is. Keep up to date and go out and get them.
I love it. I love it. Ms. Kumar, congratulations. So thank you, Daniel. Ms. Bhavna Kumar is our winner this week for the giveaway. And I'm going to change it up for Monday. There's no meeting on, Travis and I are off on Friday. The office is closed, so a couple of updates. We're closed on Friday for the holidays for 4th of July and observance of 4th of July. So the front desk and escrow and ourselves, we won't be in. But if you need to reach us, we will be available on our cell phones for any questions or anything like that. And we'll be back Monday at 1 o'clock for our live. And I'm gonna challenge Travis, our giveaway on Monday. Travis, I want you to pick a nice beer. And I'm gonna pull a bottle of wine out of my cellar. And so Monday's giveaway will be a bottle of wine and one of Travis's favorite picks and one of my favorite picks. So make sure you guys tune in on Monday at 1 o'clock. Looking forward to that, and have a fabulous rest of the week. Again, if there's anything that anybody needs, we're here for you. And, you know, thank you guys. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Victoria, there's a question that just came in. So Victoria was asking the name of the app that Travis was talking about. It's called First. Is it First.io?
First.io.
First.io.
You literally type in first.io, or just go to the Mac Center and click on the first.io tile.
Exactly. Perfect. And then it'll log you in. What it'll do is it'll prompt you to enter the app onto your phone, and then it'll connect the two, and then it'll pretty much walk you through it after that as far as entering the contacts and things like that. Sweet. All right, everybody. Appreciate it again. Brett, Ryan, thank you guys very much.
Thanks for having us on.
And we'll talk to everybody again soon.
Have a great week, guys.
Thanks, guys. Great to see you guys.
You too.
See you guys.